Good morning, Alta Memorial. How are y'all doing? This is Layla Science.
And I'm Joshua Stewart. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. I will graduate from high school equipped to excel in the college and career of my choice, dominate 21st century skills in leadership, knowledge, language, and technology to compete in a global economy and serve as a successful citizen in my community.
Please remain standing for the moment of silence. You may now be seated. We hope you had a great weekend. We're so glad that you're back. This announcement is for AMJH members. You have your first meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, September 12th, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Please make sure you let your parents know because you need to attend. Also remember, today kicks off Hispanic Heritage Awareness Week. This is also September 11th. So let us take this time to remember
I'm at the 9/11 Memorial Museum and I'm joined by Cheyenne Hyde. Cheyenne, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Yeah, of course.
Can we go take a look around inside?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
9/11 is shorthand for Tuesday, September 11, 2001, when 19 hijackers affiliated with Al-Qaeda decided to hijack 4 commercial airline flights and use them as weapons against highly symbolic landmarks of American life. It just starts off like a normal day because it's the first day of school, it's the mayoral primaries, and about 2 billion people witness it live because you have internet, you have radio, and then TV who are now showing their viewers what's happening here.
2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
So the first attack began at 8:46 a.m. when hijacked Flight 11 struck the north face of the North Tower. At 9:03 a.m., hijacked Flight 175 struck the south face of the South Tower. At 9:37 a.m., hijacked Flight 77 struck the outer ring of the Pentagon, which is the headquarters for the U.S. military. And then at 10:03 a.m., hijacked Flight United 93 was deliberately crashed into a field in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. Now that flight is kind of different because that flight was coming out of Newark, New Jersey, a very congested airport. They happened to be delayed about 45 minutes. Finally, when they're in the air, they realize that something is wrong. And then they realize that they were being hijacked. So from the air phones that are still on the planes in 2001, they call their loved ones and the authorities who are on ground, and they tell them what's happening, their situation on board. And as a result, their loved ones and the authorities are telling them what's happening here in New York City and also in Arlington, Virginia at the Pentagon. So those 40 brave men and women, they vote to stage a counterattack. They boil water in the back of the kitchenette area of the plane, and they use a food cart as a battering ram to try to gain access into the cockpit. Now, once the 4 hijackers realized that they probably would not be making it to the intended target, which we now know was the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., where Congress was in full session that morning, they decided to crash that plane into an empty field.
So the other airplanes that were in the air were starting to hear about this, right?
Yes.
And for 1 Alpha Charlie, there's some sort of a problem going on out there on the East Coast that we need to know about?
Yeah, I'll keep you advised on that in a second. Amtrak 797, Cleveland.
Yep, but from hijacked Flight 11, we had a flight attendant named Betty Ong who made a phone call during the hijacking to American Airline reservation agents in North Carolina, and 23 minutes she remains calm and professional as she's reporting about the situation on board the plane and also the identities of the 5 hijackers. And after that first phone call, really the FAA decided to ground all flights nationwide.
So after they grounded all the planes, what happened to all the people?
You have people who are stranded, really, people who can't get back from their vacations, really have no idea what's going on because for some of them, they were stuck on these planes for a number of hours, not maybe being able to get off, go find some hotel, but it wasn't until maybe a few hours later that they heard the news of what had just happened in New York City, and they probably now had an understanding of what their situation would be like.
So are there still effects from 9/11 being felt today?
Of course, we have the Transportation Security Administration, TSA. You have to be completely x-rayed, you have to be patted down. With carry-ons, you can't have huge amounts of liquid, you can't have weapons on board.
This has been an incredible experience, and it brings back to me where I was on 9/11. You know, I was teaching class full of 5th graders, and what that day was like. How do you talk to students about this day when they weren't around?
I encourage them to talk to their parents. Ask them what their experience was on September 11th. Ask questions. It's a hard thing to understand why anybody would do this, but it's important that we learn what happened on September 11th. And coming to the museum, we have visitors, kids, school groups who come who also weren't born before 9/11, and that is how they learn, really watching and reading. So do good research and really ask the questions that you feel are necessary to ask.
Thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you so much for coming.
Really cool news, while renovating his property, a Portuguese man came across a fossil, which might have just been the largest dinosaur skeletons ever found in Europe. The skeleton was found in 2017, and it took almost 6 years for scientists to determine what kind of dinosaur it was. They discovered that it may have almost been 82 feet long. That is so cool.
Sandy Dahl, wife of pilot Jason Dahl, who died in 9/11, said if we learn nothing else from this tragedy, we learned that life is short and there was no time for hate. Life never works out exactly how we imagine it, but that doesn't mean that it's not beautiful. Life is too short, so take the time to enjoy it. Love the life you've been given and just truly live it, because you'll never know what magic will come out of it. This is Layla Sines
And Joshua Stewart, signing off.
Have a great day.